All right, g'day, hi and welcome. Okay, I'm just going to make another little quick video of my Ibanez Geo 205 here, and I'm just going to leave it at Geo 205 because Ibanez base instrument names go on for like ever and ever. They write a novel when they name something, so fun little bass. You know, nice and light for a bass, so it's not too bad. Okay, so I've been recording with it, and I'm going to do an interesting thing today where I'm going to record with the drums. It's just, my drum loop, whatever. It's kind of boring, but it does the job. But I'm going to record three variations of this bass. One with the pick, with a little bit of, say, distortion on it. And then there's going to be a second finger picking with a different setup, whatever, to make it sound. And then I'm going to have a third bass soloing over it. So it'll be a triple bass threat tune that I'm gonna make here today, and I'll make it in a video, and then I'll show you. I'll just post the video. You can just listen to it and whatever and see what you think of it. And the thing I'm noticing about the bass is the same thing I noticed about my extended range guitars, is where they sonically fit in the mix. This guitar here is a black hole. This guitar, you see the skull strap on there, yeah, is my LTD 8-string. Okay, now this thing is still in standard tuning. Right beside is my Mark Holcomb 7-string. It's still in standard tuning. These are both 26.5-inch scale. You record your first rhythm track with this, and it's pretty heavy, of course, especially this thing. This thing's so heavy. That's a much tighter sounding guitar. And then if you go to the next guitar, a 25.5 scale, it's a lot more lively, and it's in a slightly different range. They're overlapping ranges, but that guitar cuts through pretty good. The Gibsons cut through amazingly. This kind of sits in the background. This kind of pops through enough. That pops through a lot, and those pop through incredible. This doesn't pop through in the mix. It tends to kind of sit in the background if you don't know where to play it. And this is probably something that newer bass players probably experience. In other words, if everybody, let's say you're playing a G note, right? You'll play right here, okay? This is your E string. That's the G note. And they'll just play there, dun dun dun, right? When the guitar player is playing a G chord. Suddenly, when you record it, you don't hear it. You don't even know the bass is there. It might as well not be there. Like, you take the bass away and nobody will hear it. But if you're to play that same note one octave up, suddenly this one starts to pop out. And if you take it even higher, what was it? Hang on. There you go. There you go. So, yeah. A little slow today, sorry guys. So if I play it here, you'll definitely hear it if he's playing down there. Now let's say he's playing a G somewhere else, then I go down here. A lot of people think they have to use this area of the bass too much. Yes, it's nice to have those low ends if you need them. But if the bass is, think of the bass like crazy glue. Okay, so if you have a really good bass player in your band, okay, he knows how to tie the rhythm section of the guitars and the keyboards and the vocals to the drums. And he's kind of like that bridge over there. So he can, the better your bass player plays with your drummer, the better band you have. The better you can record the drums and the bass, the better song you're going to have. It is that important, and most people dismiss it just as, okay, well, just play along with whatever the root notes are, and just grab the pick and do that. That doesn't work because you can do other things sonically. So when I record the tune that I'm going to record with this, I'll show you how you make it pop out. So a bass blending into a bass, blending into a bass, and yet making them all stand out from each other. So that's kind of hard. So when you're recording, especially with high gain guitars, like especially that one's nuts. The Flying B, like the Duncan, like the Mark Holcomb guitar is very high gain pickups. They're probably even hotter than what's on the Flying B, but they're really clear. That the Duncan distortions are just like so in your face. It's the ultimate thrash metal sound. But when you got those guitars just blaring their distortion, it's really hard to get these things to cut through. So where you play it will make the difference whether it cuts through or not. So just keep that in mind when you're recording. Now that also comes down to how you're going to practice. So when you practice a song, play it in the root notes just as so you can hear it. And then if you're with your guitar player or whatever, let him play the root note or the regular chords, and then go somewhere he's not. Don't be in the same tonal sonic range where he is, and then watch how the song changes dynamically. So that's one thing I've always known about bass, just from working with good bass players over the years, and years ago. Whenever I had a regular bass player, it was just like basically a guitar player playing with a pick, whatever. And then when you had a really good bass player, whether he played with a pick or not, he just knew where to be on the neck. He was always somewhere outside of where you were, even in the same key, whatever, all that stuff. But he knew how to make the bass pop out. And when you're recording, you have to learn how to do that too. So if you're having a problem getting your bass to stand out in your recording mix, just find out where your guitars are, or your keyboards or whatever, and go where they're not, and that'll create that little bridge between your rhythm section and your beat section, right? So, and a little tip there anyway. All right, so I'll leave it at that, and I'm gonna start recording. Here we go.